welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Capricorn, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of January 2024. I hope you are well. I'm using the Crow Tarot for you today, and happy birthday to you all. Before we begin, if the reading resonates and you'd like to go a little bit deeper, there will be an extended that you can access at the end. That is link number 1 in the description box. Link number 2 is to my private community, the Order of the Phoenix, over on the Circle platform. You can get access to all of the extended content for no extra cost and hang out with an extraordinary group of people. We've got a lot of things going on over there. So if that sounds like it's something that will be of interest to you, link number 2. Link number 3 is to 3-month overviews that I've done for each of the signs. I usually do 6 months, but I've cut it down to 3. And if you've looked at the astrology for April, you might understand why I have done that. So obviously they run from January to the end of March 2024. Did I say 2023 earlier? I might have done. I didn't mean to. If you're interested, it's the 3rd link. Right, Capricorn. Let's have a look and see what's going on with you at the moment. Can I have 3 cards for Capricorn, please? There we go. There's the first one. We've got the 6 of Wands. That's a nice start. There we are. Let's move that out of the way. 6 of Wands for your recent past. Tell me about current energy for Capricorn, please. We have the Lovers. Very nice. Gemini energy. And what's coming towards Capricorn for January, please? Justice. Interesting. Right. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 3 of Swords, which is really quite interesting. Because the tone of the cards that are here are exceedingly positive. This puts a bit of balance on it, if we can put it that way. Let's see what's sitting underneath there. 4 of Pentacles. Right. It feels a little like this period of time that you're in has things happening for your higher good that at this point are not perceivable. Like, there's almost something Neptunian about the quality of these cards as I'm sitting here looking at these. You know, the Lover's card is Gemini, air, just like Justice, because this is Libra here. And this is about conscious co-creation. This is about active manifestation. Or actually, I tend to put the Lover's card down as passive manifestation. It's kind of getting really clear about what you want. I'm jumping around here, but bear with me a minute, Capricorn. The Justice card, like the Lover's card, brings an element of balance in here. But I feel like because we started with this 6 of Wands, that there's an idea that things are going very, very well and that we've got, we're getting what we want. And then Justice seems to come in sideways because Justice doesn't feel quite as positive to me as it should do, which is interesting. And that would definitely be because of its proximity to the 3 of Swords. But let's get some clarifiers out here and see what this is about. Tell me about the 6 of Wands, please. We've got the Strength card, and the Judgment card. Interesting. Tell me about the Lover's card, please. Why is that here? We have the Hierophant. Look at all this major arcana. And we have the Queen of Wands, and we have the 2 of Pentacles. Tell me about Justice, please. We've got the Knight of Cups in reverse. We've got the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and we've got the 7 of Wands in reverse, with the 3 of Wands now at the bottom of the deck. Now, sorry Capricorn, this does seem to rather fit with what my initial impressions were of the energy that is going on here with you at the moment, because there's a lot of major arcana, which means that you are being guided, shifted, shaped and molded in a particular direction, right? Whether or not this is perhaps something to do with Pluto sitting at the anaretic degree of your sign, that's highly likely, I would say. But there are a lot of other things going on besides. In your recent past, we have the 6 of Wands. We have a somewhat of a feeling of victory. It's a Leo card, and that's interesting because we've got Leo there again underneath there. But it's something along the lines of a conspicuous public victory, right? Where we feel like we have won something. The thing is, Capricorn, it feels a little bit like you've won the battle but not the war, and I'll get to why later on. We've got the Strength card and we've got the Judgment card there. Now, like I said, that is Leo. This here, the Judgment card, can be Aries, it can be Scorpio. Feels a little bit more, well, it's just quite Martian, really. Anyway, the fact that we've got Judgment and Justice appearing in the same reading here gives this whole reading a fairly karmic, fairly fated sort of feel to it. But we've got two cards here that could directly relate to legal matters that you may be involved in. It seems here that you feel you've made a very strong presentation if this is a legal matter. If it's not, it feels like it could well be a feeling that everything's just starting to work its way out now in your favour, legally or generally. Let's pull up some other cards here. The Judgment card can talk about resurrection of things from the past, right? Sometimes it can talk about judgments that are made by us or are made by other people upon us. Tell me about the Judgment card. But it's often the card of a life-changing decision. And what do we have here? The Star, which is Aquarius and very much centered towards, or very much centered towards the future. We've got the Empress, which is Taurus and absolutely speaks to something that is being gestated, you know, something new that is waiting to come into the world. And the Ten of Wands feels like a relieving of burden for you, which is magnificent. This is all really, really good. However, I do feel like there's something here. There's an interplay, there's a dynamic between the Three of Wands and the Three of Swords. Now, as these are shadow cards, for those of you who are not familiar with the tarot, these are not necessarily the prevailing energies that are obvious. They're the ones that are happening beneath the radar, the things that you do not see. And the fact that you've got so much major arcana on the table makes me feel like there's a certain set of events that look like they're playing out one way, but there's something else going on underneath. And what I'm concerned about with what I see here, Capricorn, is that you're going to be broadsided by it somewhat. You know, the Ten of Wands in its upright speaks of a card of, speaks of an energy of burden, of having to work too hard for something, right? And the question being, is it worth what you've been putting into something? The fact that it's showing up in the reverse feels like it's a release of tension. It's a relief of any sense of burden around a particular situation. And that's because here, it's like, nah, focused on the future, focused on my own abundance, you know, in whatever sense that applies. And either you feel like other people are also seeing that with you. Ooh, that's a proper clusterfuck of cards there, isn't it? They're also seeing that with you, or this is simply your judgment on the matter. When we move into your current energy, we've got the Lovers card. It's a card of Gemini. It talks about balance, but it talks about conscious co-creation. It talks about, like I said, passive manifestation, where you get yourself into a state of alignment with an energy, which is very much clearly what you think that you're doing. And you begin to manifest for yourself the life that you want off the back of the energy of the work that you've put in. Now, there's a question whether, with this Ten of Wands here, whether you've actually put enough work in. And I say that because it all starts to derail by the time we get to the to this Two of Pentacles here. We've got the Hierophant, which is fixed earth energy, so it's rigid, it's stable, it is it's actually pretty foundational, really, but it doesn't move easily. It's another card that has an implication of balance with it here, because we see it with the Lovers card. But this Queen of Wands, who is this Queen of Wands? I don't feel like this Queen of Wands is necessarily you, Capricorn. Tell me about this Queen of Wands. We've got the Judgment card again, or the Awakening card as it's known here. It feels like there's a direction of travel that you have believed that you were going in, right? And one, importantly with the Hierophant, that maintains the status quo. There's something about the status quo that you are looking to either retain or make sure it doesn't go anywhere, or almost like reinforce. But we've got this Queen of Wands here, and she feels to me to be disruptive. Now we've got the Judgment card talking about life-changing decisions, and usually those are actively made, but they're coming out under a card that talks about a passive manifestation. So we have here the idea that decisions are being made, but not necessarily in alignment with where you think they are, because the energies of something that wants to stay the same versus the energies of judgment, which is about, you know, hitting a conclusion, hitting an end, and in some way kind of almost revolutionizing a situation. There's kind of polarities here, Capricorn. And when we got the Two of Pentacles showing up, we've got an emotional maelstrom in the back. I always point this out in this card because I do think it's a really important detail. And we're back to this energy of kind of coping, right? Tell me about this Two of Pentacles. We've got the Nine of Pentacles, about the management of your resources. Holy shit, that's far too many cards. Like 4 cards there. We've got the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Chariot card, the Emperor, and the Three of Wands. I am going to take those cards, and I shall tell you for why. Because the Nine of Pentacles is a card of good energy management. It's about getting all of your ducks in a row, right? But what we've got coming out under here is the Ace of Swords in reverse, and that's the important bit. Chariot, Emperor, and the Three of Wands. All 3 of these cards talk about taking action. They talk about, you know, exerting a level of control over a situation, you know, the direction that you're going in, what you're going to do. The Chariot card, determination, success, all of that sort of stuff. But it's predicated on a falsehood. That's the important part of this here, Capricorn. Because where the Ace of Swords shows up in reverse, do you remember I said right at the beginning there was a feeling of something really quite Neptunian going on here? You know, what I meant by that was it was something slightly illusory. There was a kind of smoke and mirrors here where things weren't quite the way that you thought that they were. And all of your future actions seem to be based on, and there is a fuckload of major arcana here, Capricorn. There's a discrepancy between where you think you're going and what is going on underneath, because it seems to be based on something that is fundamentally untrue, which means that it is likely that you have not read this situation correctly. Now, I understand that this is uncomfortable because none of us like to do that, but if all of your future action has been based on either something that is untrue or a fundamental misunderstanding of the situation, then what you're building here is something that has the potential to be the tower later on, because, you know, the tower literally is a situation that has not been built on sturdy foundations. I find it troublesome in the same way that I find this Justice card here slightly troublesome, because we've got the Knight of Cups in reverse, we've got the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and we've got the Seven of Wands in reverse. There's a balancing going on here, and I don't think it's going to be very comfortable for you, because we've got this dynamic of Three of Swords and Three of Wands, and there are different ways that you could look at this. I mean, one of the ways that you could look at it might be the possibility that the drive to move forwards is an attempt to escape from a certain pain that you have that has not been adequately recognized by you. Right? It's something that could be sitting well beneath the surface for you that has not yet been even made contact with, let alone acknowledged and worked with. It feels like there's a really difficult lesson about control coming up here. Because what the Justice card does is bring balance to a situation. We know this. But it has heavy karmic overtones too. We're not just talking about the balance of a legal situation, although I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are involved in it, in one of those. It talks about a karmic rebalancing. And with Pluto sitting at the anaretic degree of your sign for 3 weeks of this month, like that 29th degree is often associated with crisis. And I do wonder if there's some sort of crisis that is looming here that is just outside of your field of view, that is going to reorder what a particular situation is for you. Like the Knight of Cups here is an energy of a closed heart. The Six of Pentacles, rather than being grounded, which is the way that I often like to interpret this card, it's Moon in Taurus, right? So it's got a certain emotional grounding to it. This is instability. And then we have Mars in Leo in the reverse. Now, whether you think that this chap here is protecting something valuable or whether he's being defensive for the sake of it, it seems like there's something getting stripped away. Perhaps even your defences being stripped away in the month of January to show you a situation that is markedly different to what you thought it was. Tell me about these 3 cards. And that would be very much in alignment with the crisis energy of the 29th degree of Capricorn. Right? Because we're breaking things down. Remember how I said it was the attempt to kind of retain some sort of status quo. That simply will not do. Yeah, we've got the Ace of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands, and then the Seven of Wands showing up in the upright here. Now, the point of this is not punishment. I want to make that really, really clear. It couldn't be further from the truth. What this is to show you a truth that could not be viewed in any other way. And one that allows you to make contact with this part of yourself and perhaps realize how some of your actions have come from a place of trying to defend yourself rather than trying to work with whatever this pain is here. You know, sometimes I read the Three of Swords as that very visceral, very immediate moment where something painful happens. Other times I see it as a historic wound that has not had an opportunity to heal. But whichever way it happens, we've got a heart with swords in it. And the swords are truth. They're information. It's something hitting your emotional space that your mind would not let you see before. And in the moment of a Three of Wands, when seen, it cannot be unseen, no matter how much it would appear that you've tried to cover it. Now, notice there that we've got the Temperance card sitting underneath. I mean, this is an opportunity for enormous healing. But we've got the Four of Pentacles sitting below here. You know, the emphasis very much is on the need to release something that I think perhaps you have not even been aware that you've been holding on to really hard. You know, the Ten of Pentacles is the ultimate card of stability and security and all those kind of things, right? It can relate to your house, it can relate to your business, it can relate to however it is that you earn money. Actually, it can be your job and all sorts of things, right? But it's material culmination. It's everybody feeling safe because their needs are taken care of, and that's really important for a Capricorn. Like, it's a huge drive for Capricorn. But that card's coming out under one that speaks of a massive instability. Then we've got the Seven of Wands here, where you lose your ability to be able to defend yourself to yourself. And what's revealed underneath is conflict. Again, it's not, there's a little blackbird there. It's not a punishment, but it's showing you where there has been no contact. I mean, look at how these cards are flipping on themselves, right? We've got the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Upright, those two go together absolutely beautifully. They speak of a really, really good relationship with yourself that allows you to be compassionate, give your cup literally to other people, right? Whatever you've got left over, with open-hearted consciousness, you can invest in other people. But it's showing up in the reverse. It's showing you where you were closed so that you have an opportunity to open again. We have the Six of Pentacles here, which is talking about a massive instability of sorts. And because I read the Pentacles as energetic currency, it doesn't have to be simply your money. You know, we can be talking about those rather more ephemeral notions of what feels like security to you. You know, we've got these two at odds with themselves. And then we've got a card of perhaps defense mechanisms and the conflict that exists within. Each one of these cards here is giving you an opportunity to see something that you would not have been able to see in any other way. But it feels like it's incredibly challenging because it is requiring you, by definition, to let go of the status quo and embrace something new for your higher good. The Justice card gives this a huge karmic dimension, as I keep mentioning. But all of this is in the spirit of initiation upon a path that you're not actually headed down, with things going the way that you want them to go. And there's something very personally confrontational about realizing that we've been trying to shoehorn something in a particular direction. And that actually what might be going on is that we don't want to change. We're keeping everything, as far as we can, the same, because when we're exerting control over things, we don't get broadsided by unpredictable and capricious energy. Or at least that's the intention, because I think January is going to see you do exactly that, be broadsided by this. But it's all by way of a gift. And if you can work with this energy rather than working against it, and I would certainly say, you know, release is a huge theme for you this month, then what you actually do is clear the decks for you to be able to start afresh, start anew. Pluto's not going to pass by the last degree of Capricorn without really pushing something for you before it pops into Aquarius, and then it's a whole new world, at least till September, when Pluto retrogrades back into your sign for 6 weeks. There's an opportunity for a new start here, a real fundamental release, but if you fight it, I think it could get a little bit sticky. So I'm going to go and do the extended now. I'm going to go over to, you can join me actually on Vimeo or on Circle, whichever you prefer. And we're going to dig into this a little bit more because there's so much major arcana energy here. It feels like it could be incredibly fucking overwhelming for you, Capricorn. But we have to kind of see past the chaos and see past the structure, actually, as well, because the structure is the thing that's coming down. See past all of that to what lies beyond, which at this point is kind of an empty space, which can be a little bit overwhelming, but at the same time, you can start to really create something there. You know, there's a desire for that. We saw that in these cards over here. But I don't feel like the universe is going to let you go down this road. It's like, nah, it's time for a turn. And it is going to show you something about yourself that you didn't see, probably didn't want to see. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Know that I love you all very, very much. And I'll see you soon.